Hello, gorgeous people. This is part 2 of what I wore last fortnight. So this is the week just gone. You hopefully have already seen on Sunday the one that I put up with that was the week before. So I think that was the Friday that I travelled up to see my friend. So I do have a couple of travel sprays here to talk about that I wore while I was up in Lincolnshire. But let's start though with something that I wore when I got back. I've worn a couple of things recently actually that were things that I sort of forgot that I had, because when I was going up to see my friend, I wanted to take some perfumes up for her and her family. So I think the things I decluttered that I can remember anyway, I took her up Stella Pop Bluebell and she really, really likes that one. I was very happy she agreed. It kind of smells like something from our youth. Because we're of a similar age, you know, and in the UK there was obviously something that smelt a little bit like both Stella Pop and Stella Pop Bluebell. I gave her the Green Tea Sakura Blossom, and she actually wore that one while I was up there. I took the Claire's Watermelon body spray up for her daughter because I now have so many watermelon perfumes. I was literally just deciding which ones to keep and what to get rid of. I gave her a couple of other ones. I gave her my sort of spare bottle of Terra de Lumiere because I have the big original bottle, and I had bought, mainly just to compare the two, when I saw it on eBay, I'd bought the bottle that was like the new very plain one, and because I have a pen spray and the big bottle of the original, I didn't feel like I needed to have that backup. And I thought she'd like it, and she agreed. She was like, I said, I feel like it actually smells like Provence. And she was like, yeah, it does. It super smells French. So she really liked that one as well. And I also gave her my Chanel Coco, just because that is a beautiful perfume, but it was a partial bottle. I can't sell it on, and it just doesn't smell very nice on me. But anyway, so those are the things that I took up with me. Oh, and the 4711 Remix Cologne Lavender, just because it's another quite big bottle. I haven't really worn it. And I thought that would be a really good one because it's like a nice unisex one. Anyway, sorry, that was a long way to then go on to tell you that when I was looking through stuff, I was like, I've still got Pure Grace Pop of Sun from Philosophy. And this is a perfume that I really go back and forth on because there's something about this I love, but there's just that tiny, tiny hint of something in it that's a little bit bitter and woody that sometimes comes across a little bit like that Tarry RM chemical, but just a hint of it. And I actually think it might be the bitterness from a matcha tea note. But my husband really likes this one as well, and so I never actually got rid of it. So I wore it again, and I do think I'm keeping this because I don't really have anything else that smells like it, and it really is a specifically joyous smell. And actually I saw someone referring to this as like a tropical, fruity, floral vanilla, and I haven't really ever thought of it before as that. Let's push it over here and get it out of the glare. Yeah, that way is going to be better, isn't it? So Pop of Sun, there are notes on Fragrantica, but I found the full set on I think, I don't know, it was probably QVC or somewhere that you could actually buy this back in the day. I think this is discontinued, but you might be able to find it. This is pink pomelo, passion fruit, coconut water, tangerine, matcha, apple blossom, tiger orchid, tonka bean, vanilla and sandalwood. And it really does smell tropical. It's not quite body lotiony, but it has a hint of that in it. Like I said, there's like a slight bitter tang to this, which I do actually wonder if it's from the matcha. And the reason that I liked this so much in the first place was because it sort of reminds me a little bit of the Coco and Eve Moisture Whip, the moisturizer, the one that is, I think it's dragon fruit, it's called. I have that like slightly vanillic, coconutty, juicy, tropically fruity body cream. My sister got me that, and it's so highly perfumed that whenever I wear it, like I wanted to find something that would go with it, because otherwise that body lotion kind of overpowered a lot of my actual perfumes. And this one goes really well. If anything, I think the Moisture Whip is actually slightly creamier and slightly more vanillic, but this does really work with it. And it's a very nice perfume, to be honest. So I did actually really enjoy wearing this. So yeah, I think it's really nice. I'm keeping it for now. It's not a love for me, but it really is serving a purpose and I really enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? What else can I fit on here? What order am I doing these things in, guys? You know what? If I put this on, is it going to be too tall? It might be. It might be. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it anyway. There's not really much else to say about this because it doesn't give you any notes. I've got hiccups, guys. Sorry. Acqua Colonia red apple and chili. So this is just what it says on the tin. It is a little bit spicy, a little bit earthy because of that chili, but it's got a very nice red apple in it that's very sweet. It's slightly tangy, but not too much. It's just really nice. Again, sadly, a discontinued one, but it's lovely. And I just get the urge to wear it every now and again. I'm kind of more likely to reach for it during colder months, like in the autumn, just because that red apple and spice vibe is so perfect for autumnal weather. But because it's an Acqua Colonia, obviously it pretty much works any time of year. So I just enjoyed it. I thought it was nice. And then I'm going to do the 2 pen sprays because I can put them up here and try not to knock them over. We'll see if they'll stand up. So I think on the Saturday I was in the mood, and because I still have the pen spray of actual Burberry Goddess, so the Burberry Goddess perfume pen spray, the original Eau de Parfum. Look how dark this is now. Really nice. So I got this. This is a decant, but a rather nicely presented decant that I got. It was a 10ml, and I've got, I don't know, like maybe 4ml left, I think, of what was in here. Beautiful, wonderful. I really think this is one of the best summer vanillas, and it was because I was up north and not in London. It was maybe 21 degrees or something on that day maximum, and it wasn't like a hot day. It was really breezy up there. So, but man, this works so beautifully in hot weather. Now I personally, I knew it would be a bit tricky and a bit clumsy. I knew that when I got rid of the actual Burberry Goddess, I had a 30ml. I knew when I got Angum I didn't need that 30ml bottle because Angum from Lattafa, still to this day my only Lattafa. I have had a few samples of other things from Lattafa. Doesn't seem like that's going to change anytime soon. But man, Angum is such a good interpretation of the Burberry Goddess profile. I really love it. I almost feel like when it dries down, it's almost slightly sweeter and slightly less chemically. Now, I don't find Burberry Goddess in and of itself like chemically, but I feel like somehow the ginger in it is maybe a little bit astringent, and the lavender in it is a little bit harsher than what they have in Angum. Angum's almost like a fluffier version of Goddess, but they are so similar. And because I had a massive bottle of Angum and I really, really liked it, and I actually thought I got a little bit more of the cocoa or the cacao in that. At the time I didn't get as much ginger, but now they're pretty much the same in terms of the ginger now that Angum has like developed and darkened up a bit. But man, Burberry Goddess is so gorgeous, and it really, again, you can wear this any time of year, but I feel like there is something about Goddess that lends itself so beautifully to warm weather. I feel like it brings out all the best parts of this perfume. They only give you a small amount of notes for this. So they say top notes vanilla, lavender, cacao and ginger, middle notes vanilla caviar, base notes vanilla absolute. I'm absolutely sure there's like mandarin or something in this. I think there's definitely a possibility that there is a tiny bit of patchouli in the base of this. I think that there's definitely some kind of wood in this. But I mean, I'm 100% sure there's a juicy fruit in here. I said it the first time I ever tried it, that like it's possible that the ginger is where that juiciness is coming from, but I really don't think it's just that. I'm absolutely sure there's a fruit in here. And if you look, so if I click on Angum, yeah, so like Angum has mandarin in it. It's also got pink pepper, which makes total sense for how Goddess smells as well. And it has amber and musk in it. Now, I definitely get something woody in the base of Angum. Like I can smell some kind of wood in there. I almost wonder if it might be a bit of cedarwood or something. I don't think it's sandalwood. But Neither of them list it, but still, I mean, that's what it smells like to me. Beautiful. I really just think Goddess is so good, but I also think that Angum is a perfect alternative because it's so much more affordable than Goddess. And I think it's close enough that unless you are like really obsessed with Burberry Goddess, or like you're an absolute perfume connoisseur with like an exceptionally good nose, I don't think you'll find wearing Angum to be a massively different experience to wearing Goddess. So, I mean, it's really, it's really about your budget, I think, or just how much you're willing to spend on perfumes, because I feel like Burberry new ones are so expensive. Okay, now this is going to blow your mind if you've been watching me for a long time, because I've changed. Who is Cass? Who even am I anymore? Cassandra? I don't know her. I have trained my nose to appreciate buttery florals. Now, if you have been with me for a while, you will know that I often cannot deal with buttery florals, particularly the combination of buttery tuberose and buttery gardenia. Sometimes that just makes me feel very strange, or it used to anyway. I think I started softly because I think Mambo from Liz Claiborne is a little bit buttery. And then I got that Britney Spears that's a little bit buttery in the florals, Blissful Fantasy, which again, I think that is probably the best quality and the best of, it's not necessarily my favourite from the Fantasy line, but I think it's the best from the Fantasy line. I can kind of look at it and, appreciate that I think it's the best quality, even though probably Jungle is my favourite. I just love that perfume so much. But then when I got that Guess perfume, Guess Seductive Dream, I think it's called, the one in the kind of pink bottle, that was the most buttery perfume in terms of florals that I think I've ever worn. And I got used to it. And then I started thinking about this one, which, okay, let me just put it up. I've got, the box is a bit squished because I got it on eBay. Doson Eau de Toilette from Diptyque. So I've said before, and in case you're wondering, this is from Qatar Airways, because they have their amenity kits made by Diptyque and provided by Diptyque. So in the, I think it's like business class and first class, you get a 10 mil. Is it 10 mil or 7.5? Yeah, a 10 mil. So I think sometimes they're 7.5 and sometimes they're 10. You get one of these basically, and it sometimes is Doson, sometimes I think they have different seasons. I think I just saw someone selling a Eau Duel, so like the EDT, and I will be very happy if that happens, because I'd love a pen spray that I can just take around with me of Eau Duel. But anyway, Doson, look at the colour of this as well. Like, this is a beautiful Eau de Toilette. Now, I said when I tested this in store that this, out of all the kind of buttery tuberose perfumes, the quite pure buttery tuberose perfumes I've tested, this was by far the nicest one I've smelt. In the same way that I think, like, is it Eau Capitale? Like, that kind of patchouli, is it rose patchouli, Eau Capitale? I think that's one of the best versions of that, although that Chanel I tested recently, even though actually thinking about it, it's a little bit like Lovely and that kind of thing. But that Chanel I tested, the Paris one, that is the rose patchouli, kind of slightly sour, that is like a really good version of that. I digress. But Doson, I think, is such a fantastic buttery tuberose. It's so much nicer than some of the others that I've smelt, which I find overwhelming, a bit sickly. So I was like, I'm just going to get this and I'm going to try it. And man, did I love wearing this. This is so beautiful. Oh my God. It's so perfectly done, because it has a little bit of that grapey bubblegum vibe that you get with tuberose, but it also has the butteriness, so it doesn't come across entirely like my favourite type of tuberose is the bubblegummy tuberose, the kind of fruity bubblegummy tuberose that you get in something like Poison from Christian Dior. I love the tuberose in that perfume. I love the tuberose that's in, which is actually very similar but much sheerer, in his Ted Baker Extraordinary Woman XO, the original one. And this has a bit of that vibe with this tuberose, while still being buttery, the way that things like Gucci Bloom and like the original Kim Kardashian and probably like Fracas, things like that. God damn, this is so pretty, and I really enjoyed wearing this. I have jumped over the hurdle when it comes to buttery florals. I do still. I mean, I'd quite like to smell Florence again. I might get a little sample of Florence from Toka because that one's like a buttery. Gardenia. Is it gardenia and tuberose in that as well? Maybe just gardenia, but that one has pear in it. So I remember being like, it for what it is, it's really nice, but it's too buttery. I need to smell it again. Anyway, the notes of Doson Eau de Toilette. Top notes: African orange blossom, or it says African orange flower to be specific. Iris, rose. Middle notes: tuberose, pink pepper. Base notes: musk and benzoin. And then the votes: tuberose at the top, followed by orange blossom. And then musk and benzoin. I feel like there's something about the benzoin and the iris mixing in here that is so beautiful. This smells a little bit juicy to me. This almost smells like there is like a little bit of grape juice or something making it juicy. I don't know whether there's something about the African orange flower that's coming across when mixed with the tuberose as like a fruity quality, but I don't know. This is just so pretty, and like I liked it, but I just didn't think I'd ever be able to wear it, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, so good. Top votes for similar: Gucci Bloom. I find Gucci Bloom very harsh personally, but I think Gucci just is a house that makes perfumes that absolutely do not work for me. Doson Eau de Parfum after that. There's a Zara called Tuberose Noir. I don't know that one. Michael by Michael Kors. There's quite a few of the Gucci Bloom range, as you can imagine. Florence. Half of the people say yes, Toka Florence smells a bit like it, and half the people say no. So I'm just going to find a sample of that and give it another sniff. But yeah, I mean, I think as far as a buttery, bright tuberose goes, this is top notch. Absolutely like the perfect incarnation of that. So yeah, absolutely lovely. And then I hope you would have seen my Body Shop one. I know there's probably a lot of people who can't get Body Shop or aren't interested in it that won't have watched that video, but I wore the Velvet Fig and Pistachio on one of the cooler days this week or last week. Velvet Fig and Pistachio. It's really nice, this perfume. When I checked online, after I'd made this video, when I was making the, not the graphics, but the thumbnail bit. Gosh, my brain, honestly. It's Sunday and my brain has melted, clearly. I looked on and they did have this body spray on there. They also had, I think, a body butter of this. And they had back in stock the Ajwa Date and Honey perfume that I cannot wait for it to get. I'm not wishing away the summer, but I'm looking forward to being able to wear that one when it's, a bit colder, because it's very sweet, that one. This is sweet too, but like in a perfect way, because it's fruity. There's a tiny bit of greenness. There's a little bit of a creaminess. It is lovely. So Velvet Fig and Pistachio. This is the body spray from the Body Shop. This is fig, pistachio, peach, milk, sandalwood, musk, iris and bergamot. I feel like the peach and the bergamot are doing a lot to really lift this up. The fig is a little bit juicy and jammy, but it's sheer, and there is still the earthiness and still the greenness, so it really smells like a fig. I'm not getting something that I'm like, that smells like pistachio, but there is a creaminess in here. I think the milkiness and the pistachio, and I'd say there's probably vanilla in this, even though it's not listed. I feel like there is a sweet dry down that suggests a little bit of vanilla. It's so nice. It's such a good one. So yeah, really nice. Like I said, from the Body Shop, this one and the Date and Honey are both such good scents that they really, really should either keep or bring back, because they're excellent quality. This one, just got the urge. Oh, such a pretty perfume. Let's see how much I've got left in this. This is The Key from Justin Bieber. I just really like this perfume. I think it's very good. It's really nice. It's a fruity floral, kind of youthful, kind of girly, but very pretty. Let me just put my... Can we see... How much have I used of this? Oh, okay, it's down to here. So I'm not quite halfway, but not that far off halfway. And it's a beaut. It really is. Very, very lovely perfume. I've talked about it quite a lot though, so I probably don't need to bang on about it. If you've not seen me talk about this before, I have a couple of suggestions for what smells a bit like this. Si Passione is a little bit like that, and if you can get the dupe from La Rive, I think it's called In Passion, Woman in Passion Red or something. I don't know. I can't remember what it is, but I did have that dupe. But a better option, I think, is Cassandra Rose Rouge from Jeanne Arthès, because they're like less than 10 quid, often more like 5 quid, and you get 100 ml. And I think it's not exactly the same as this. Nothing I've smelled is exactly the same as this, but I think it's similar enough to give you a vibe of what this smells like. And like I said before, I would have kept that perfume if I didn't already have this. So notes: pear, bosenberry, mandarin orange and osmanthus in the top, middle notes peach, water lily, pink, jasmine in the mid, base notes musk, vanilla, raspberry and woody notes in the base. Having that raspberry in the base is genius. The bosenberry and pear in the top is delicious. The osmanthus is perfect. I think the jasmine and water lily is what makes this smell a bit shampooey to me. So the only time I want to wear this is in warm to hot weather, because in colder weather it's too shampooey for me. But just in like warm weather, I love how this smells. I think it's such a good perfume. A real shame they don't make it anymore. All right, let's get to the smaller bottles now. This was on a hot day. Fancied a watermelon, and because this is like the newest one to my collection and I decided I was going to keep this, I just went for this, and it's such a good one actually. I think you can get this on Amazon at the moment for like £6. This is a fresh watermelon floral like perfume, kind of got that gym scent to it, like a I think people do call them gym scents. It's like, it's not light blue, but it's just in that general realm of like smelling fresh and clean. This has got a nice sweetness to it though, and the flowers aren't too screechy, and it's actually very pleasant to wear, and I really enjoyed it. And it's got a little bit of salt in it, which I think is what makes this just that little soupçon more interesting. So Mex Fresh Splash for her. Or maybe I've got the men's one on thingy. Maybe worth checking though. I got this from Direct Cosmetics if you're in the UK, so you can probably still get it. But definitely worth just doing a search if you like watermelon perfumes, because I think the watermelon here is actually quite obvious. This is watermelon, peach, mandarin orange and orange in the top, mid notes of jasmine, sea salt and violet leaves, base notes cashmere wood, cedar wood and musk. If I look at the votes, watermelon's at the top, followed by jasmine, followed by cashmere wood. Makes sense to me. I get a little bit of the sea salt and some of those other fruits for sure, because this is quite juicy and fruity. Really very, very nice. What's it compared to? Jungle Fantasy. Now it is if you can imagine Jungle Fantasy without the cupcake, then maybe this is in that realm, which is probably why I like it, right? It's been compared to Light Blue Intense by someone and L'Impératrice, but I think it's just easy to say it's that general vibe, even if it doesn't necessarily smell like any of those. It's somewhere in that realm. So next up, I was just craving one of my Mon Guerlains, and I kind of wanted to wear the original one. I was thinking about it for some reason. Oh, because I tested. I will do a video, because I've got I've got so many samples, guys. I've done so many videos of carded samples and just decants recently, and some of them are edited and ready to go, and a couple of them aren't yet. But I just tested the new Cacharel Ella Ella. I can't remember what the rest of it's called, but it basically smells like a not as good version of Mon Guerlain. Like, it definitely isn't as good as Mon Guerlain. It's more chemically, it's just not as good. But it made me want to wear Mon Guerlain because I tested that one. But it was still too warm to wear the original. So I pulled out the EDT, because I have a little, I have 100ml backup, but it's like a partial. And because I've got this little 30ml, I'm like, I don't mind getting through this one because I know I've got the other one. I also found my bottle of Floral, which is probably, it's not my least favourite Mon Guerlain, because that's the Bloom of Rose EDP, because I actively dislike that perfume. But my kind of least favourite out of them is the Floral, but still, my least favourite of the Mon Guerlains that I like is still a perfume that I really, really like. So because that is like halfway through, I cannot get rid of that bottle. I can't sell it, and therefore I'm just going to wear it. So I pulled that one out as well. I've got so good. I just want to wear them all the time. But anyway, so I got the EDT out purely because this is the citrusy version of the original, and it's the lightest version that still smells quite a lot like the original, if that makes sense. Because I have the Bloom of Rose EDT that has like just a wink, because of the lavender mainly, towards what the original Mon Guerlain is, but it doesn't really smell like it. And Sparkling Bouquet, again, it still has that lavender, it still has some crossovers, but it doesn't really smell like the original Mon Guerlain. This one still is recognisably Mon Guerlain, but it's much brighter because there's so much citrus. It's still really sweet, so I still wouldn't wear this when it was like crazy heat. So this was when it was hot, but like not really hot, like let's say about 25, rather than what it's going to be again this week, which is going to be 35 again, I think, on Wednesday or something. Awful. Anyway, so the EDT, lavender, mandarin, orange and bergamot, middle notes of jasmine, sambac, orange blossom, ylang ylang, base notes, Tahitian vanilla, caramel, orris violet and benzoin. And actually this one isn't a million miles away of smelling like Terre de Lumiere from L'Occitane. That one, instead of caramel, is honey, but it's still got that kind of citrusy feel. It's still got a lot of lavender. This actually smells very français. So yeah, beautiful, really nice, love it, really enjoyed wearing it, always do. Like, it's just, Mon Guerlain's just so good. And then the last thing, actually, let me just have a look, because this is discontinued. Let me see what else this has been compared to. Reminds me of, yeah, all of the Mon Guerlains. I'm trying to see. Let Me Love You by Bulmarin? No, not really. The Terre de Lumiere, the limited edition one, has been voted as smelling like this, but I haven't smelled the limited edition one. Some people say it smells like Angum, and I don't think so, not really. I don't agree with that. Coco Mademoiselle, interesting. Libre Flower and Flames. See, this is very interesting. Viva La Juicy Gold Couture. I've smelt those things. I would never have thought of this, but you never know. I think Terre de Lumiere is the best shout if you want to get something that smells similar, unless you actually want to get the original Mon Guerlain. Now, last up, this teeny weeny bottle, which I just fancied. Where did I wear this? I wore it to work because, again, it's like a tiny bottle. And it was another one that I kind of forgot that I had, but I was thinking about it because when I was doing my carded samples, I had a carded sample of Daisy. Now, if you've smelt Daisy, if you have smelt Chance au Tendre from Chanel, and obviously Daisy from Marc Jacob, then you know what Amazing Grace Magnolia from Philosophy smells like already, because it just smells like those perfumes. Now, I like Chance au Tendre, and I think Daisy is... I mean, the thing is, nowadays it's like, it almost smells a bit basic, but I think when it came out, it was pretty kind of groundbreaking in that it's a very specific scent profile. And I think it might have been the first of its kind, because I think it came out before Chance au Tendre. So I feel like Chance au Tendre is like a fancy version of Daisy. And Daisy by Marc Jacobs. I mean, Marc Jacobs is on the front cover of Charlie XCX's new album, so that's pretty sick. With Scorsese and John Cale. I mean, what a crew. God damn. I don't normally like Marc Jacobs perfumes. I find them all extremely aromachenically in a way that smells a bit poisonous to me, but Daisy does not. Daisy is the one that still smells like a proper good perfume to me. A proper good perfume, do you know what I mean? So I like that profile. I like Chance au Tendre. I also have, what's it called? Stache Privé from Sarah Jessica Parker, which is the colour of Chance au Tendre as well, and has that same kind of colour scheme going on. And that is like a slightly woodier and powderier version of this profile as well. But I really, really like Amazing Grace Magnolia because I think it's kind of smooth. It's got a little bit of a creaminess to it, probably because it's an Amazing Grace and they often, to me, smell a bit like a body lotion. This doesn't go full body lotion, but it has that same kind of lovely, clean, gentle, quite feminine, but not like overly sweet profile, you know. It's really pretty. So this just says bergamot and nectarine in the top, middle notes of magnolia and violet, base notes musk, driftwood and amber. And I feel like really magnolia is the main thing. There's a little bit of violet but not much. Magnolia, bergamot, musk, really. It's very pretty, and if I look at what this is compared to, a D squared perfume I've never smelt. Curious, from Britney Spears. That's interesting. Wow, there's so many things here that I don't think it smells like. Pure Grey Summer. That smells like wood, sage and sea salt. Nothing like this. Enduring Glow. Wow, okay. Oh Rose from Diptyque. Wow, I don't know what everyone else is smelling here, but I am smelling Daisy and I'm smelling Chance Tendre. That's what I'm smelling here. It's really nice. It lasts quite nicely. It's very pretty. I don't know that they make it anymore, and I don't know if they ever made it in full size. This like little mini, I think this is the picture that's on Fragrantica as well, so maybe this was only part of a set or something. But if you ever see it and you like those kind of scents, perfect travel size perfume. I really like it. Really liked wearing it. I don't need too much in that scent profile because it's not one I wear all the time, but it is nice to have it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I do have a few from Philosophy that sometimes they just hit that little certain spot that you're looking for. So guys, that's it. I'm done. That is my 2 weeks, but I'm already on to wearing stuff that will be in the next one. I feel like I've been a bit more basic the last few days though, and that might continue. I might just be wearing some of my favourites this week, and I might be back on the old green tea thing just because, like I said, it's going to get really hot again, like really hot. So I'm just enjoying this Sunday where it's not boiling yet, and thank you so much for watching. Sorry I've cut off the top of my Acqua Colonia, that's actually a bit big for there, isn't it? I should have repositioned before I did this video. Never mind. Let me know if you've got any of these. Let me know what you think of them. Let me know what you think of Doson if you've tried it. How do you feel about my buttery floral turnaround? Have I betrayed you? I mean, honestly. Oh, the other thing. Guys, I just hit 4,000 subscribers. Isn't that wonderful? That's so lovely. That literally just happened a couple of days ago. So thank you so much. If you're new here, I hope that my ramblings entertain you. Don't take it the wrong way if I really hate perfumes that you like. My channel is called Skin Scents for Fusspots. I am no longer just a skin scent perfume, but I am still a fusspot. Less so than before. When I started this channel, I didn't like vanilla. I didn't really like gourmands. I didn't really like anything that was too strong. Didn't like anything that was too floral. My tastes have completely changed. And they're so much wider than they were. I still love a lot of the stuff I originally did, but there's a lot more going on here. Like just the fact that I have Doson and Burberry Goddess here, and the Key, like very much not the old me. But yeah. That's all I have to say now. I've been yapping for ages. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are all awesome. And like I said, if you're new here, thank you so much for subscribing. If you're watching me and you're not subscribed, but you like my channel, you like my videos, please do consider subscribing. It makes a massive difference to my channel. It's really, really helpful. And the more people are subscribed to me because of the algorithm, the more people my videos will be advertised to. So that's just how YouTube works. All the big YouTubers are the ones who get pushed out first on the home pages and the suggestions, and the little people like me and a lot of the other people that I love watching, we don't really get pushed out in that same way. So it really helps if you subscribe. I think that's it. I'm hot and I'm going to go now because I feel like my brain's melted. Thank you again. I'll see you soon. Bye, my loves.